Hello, welcome back to another Critical Rocket chassis variant series video. It's a bit of a tongue twister for me sometimes, so trying to come up with it. Now, I'm not even sure if in previous ones I've said it that way. So, yeah, it might get confusing. But, yeah, this is the other Jenna, the third variant Jenna. This is the F variant for, I don't know what the F stands for. It's basically, it's an all-energy Jenna. There's no missiles on this one, and it has a maximum of 6 energy points, which is good for those of you who like to run your small pulse lasers, who like to obviously get close and personal and start opening up some assault mechs' backs with a couple of salvos. Obviously, it's got all the other Jenna benefits: good speed, decent number of jump jets, semi-decent armor, and obviously the 35 tons is nice for putting in things like heat sinks and whatever else. And without having to worry about the SRMs and the ammo, you do actually have a bit more room for the heatsink, so it works like that. Obviously, the weapons are all mounted in the arms, and thus that means they have a nice high angle for firing. And you can build this in a couple of ways, but to be honest, the medium lasers work best, in my opinion, than the small lasers. The main reason I say like the small lasers and the pulses aren't as good for this mech is because it's got good hitboxes. Like I said with the K variant, and like any Jenna 2C included, because the actual model is a decent size and isn't, broken like the Arctic Cheetah and the Firestarter and the Spider, a couple of mechs in the light category, it means that if you shoot it, it's going to take damage to that location rather than, the wonky hitboxes. It's like, oh, you hit the arm. Like, I didn't fucking hit the arm, I hit the right torso. So that's what this mech suffers from that. So if you try and run your small pulse build, you're just going to end up in a situation where return fire is going to kill you a lot quicker than you can kill your opponent. So I'd say the medium lasers are a good basic setup. I mean, this is stock. This is just the 4 mediums that come with it. No extra stuff. And yeah, it's okay. It works well enough. It's a nice 20-point alpha. If you end up in a good spot amongst some heavier mechs that can obviously draw the fire for you, you can really support your team. I've seen other builds of this that use large lasers. Obviously, I think 2 was the max. I've even seen a PPC version of this Jenna. I wouldn't really recommend any of those really high heat weapons. I just don't think they have the benefit that you would see on something like Tabletop, where a large laser and a PPC is actually a pretty decent amount of damage. But yeah, in MWO, the heat scale, it's just a bit. At the moment, it's a bit too much to run it like that. The medium lasers or the smalls, probably your best choice. But as I said, Jennas, in my opinion, in this game work best when they're working alongside heavier mechs than being put into a combat situation against other lights. I don't think it wins in those fights. It generally ends up coming out the loser. So, yeah, stay in a support role and try to stay mobile. I know that isn't what I'm doing a lot of the time in these bits. A lot of the time I will end up sort of hiding behind a piece of terrain and hoping that someone is dumb enough to walk out and allowing me to shoot them in a weak spot. But, a better light pilot than me will obviously make sure to stay mobile and make sure that you're constantly changing position to keep enemy players looking over their shoulder. And, yeah, as I said, the 6 energy hardpoints make this a better version for those of you who aren't really fans of the older missile gameplay. But I think the main problem, obviously, the Jenna suffer is that there just really isn't a lot of customization, which is one of the problems with the light category anyway. Because of the weight limitation, a lot of the mechs are very similar to each other. You have a few outliers, a bit like the Urban Mech, where you have the AC-10, the AC-20, the LB-10 version, but outside of that, most Firestarters are going to be bringing flamers and lasers. All Panthers are virtually going to be bringing PPCs in some form or another. I think one has a large laser as a variant. All Wolfhounds by default are going to be bringing mediums and large lasers, that kind of thing. So, you don't really start seeing a lot of variation in variants until you start getting up to the medium category and heavies and beyond, obviously. So I think that's probably one of the things that kind of holds back the lights, and the Jennas, I think, kind of epitomise that sort of narrow field of customization and variety even within Battletech, because a Jenna D and a Jenna F and a Jenna K, the only difference is one of them doesn't have an SRM4. That's it, really. So yeah, the next ones after this are going to be the Panther, which is a personal favourite of mine. It's my first choice light mech, if I was asked. So I'm looking forward to running them. There's only a couple of variants of them. I think the longest series of this is probably going to be the Firestarters. There's quite a few Firestarter variants, so yeah, that's going to be expensive. Because I have to buy the mech every single time and make sure that they're customized a little bit, at least, just so I can get some of the endo steel and double heat sinks and stuff in, because every light needs double heat sinks. And obviously a better engine if possible. Now notice this, I do apologise, this video may be having a few little hitches every now and then as well. It's probably my capture software, the Shadowplay, tends to act up a little after a certain number of recordings, so I do apologise for that. But we're nearing the end of this now. It's a desperate struggle. It's me and I think an Ebon Jaguar against a fair number of their team, and I think we can guess how this is going to end. So just like to say thanks for watching, everybody, and yeah, it's going to feel weird saying this, but if you like this, please rate, comment, and subscribe. Feels a bit weird, but apparently it's the thing to do. So thanks for watching, everybody. Critical Rocket signing out.